Kai, welcome to your video breakdown, my friend. Stoked to create this for you. In this video breakdown, I'm going to give you a couple cues to improve both your backside and your frontside bottom turns. So let's get into it. I'd like to start by reviewing this clip of the OG of backside surfing, Occy, just to demonstrate a point here that we're going to get a little bit more into. So when we want to change direction on our surfboard, how that happens is that it happens from the top down. So first we look where we want to go with our head, then our upper body, our chest should also be moving in that direction, and then that's followed by the inputs that our lower body is putting into the board with our feet or our knees or our hips. And so let's just take a look at Occy and watch how he does this backside bottom turn and break down each part. So put it real slow here. When he goes to engage this backside bottom turn, we see his arms stay over his rails. He's got this arm over the outside rail, this arm over the inside, and he starts laying down this right arm so that he can then pivot around it with his board. His eyes are going that way, and as we see what he does when he keeps going through the bottom turn, his chest also starts to point that way through this rotation, putting this arm down and then rotating this arm around. That causes his chest to start rotating where he wants to go, and then he's leaning on his heels, digging hard to get that board to also shoot up. And what I want to point out here is how long he holds this. How long he holds this rotation of the chest, this pressure in his lower body on the board. He holds it all the way until he gets to about midway up the face, maybe even a little higher. And then he starts to rotate his chest back down the wave. Eyes go down the wave. And he starts pushing on this rail of the surfboard with his toes to smack off the lip and do a sick turn. And so that's really what I want to demonstrate here is what's happening when we're changing direction when we do that bottom turn on the surfboard. It's really coming from our eyes going there first, our chest then following our eyes, and then as far as backside, getting onto our heels and putting that pressure on our heel side rail. And so let's take a look at your clip here. What I like about this wave here that you sent me is that you are attacking the lip. You're looking to throw turns. You got 3 turns in on this little wave here, and I was like, man, I like that. I like the aggressiveness. Nice turn there, and then you get one more at the very end. And so if we're thinking about our head, our chest, and our lower body and what they're doing on this wave, let's take a look at the first turn. I'm going to slow this down a little bit. Maybe we can even enlarge it here. Okay. So right when you go for the bottom turn, I like this. This arm is coming around, staying over this rail. This arm, I think, could drop a little lower. I think if you drop this arm down towards the water and you open up your palm, it's going to help you rotate that chest to do this bottom turn. But so far, so good. But right here, you throw this arm back and you start to point this chest forward, and we're still at the bottom of the wave. And so I think just holding this position where your arm is coming around, you have this arm dropped and you're starting to rotate your chest, hold that position until you get your board to about here. Really hold that bottom turn, hold that pressure on your heel side rail so that you can actually throw this turn on the lip. Because if we see, as you start to open up your chest or point your chest back toward the beach, you throw the turn and it's right around the midline of the wave. Really, we want to be turning right up here in the lip. And so just holding that position that you were in previously before starting to turn your chest back toward the beach, I think is the key here. Just hold this. Keep that arm dropped. Keep this arm rotated so you can really get that chest to come all the way around and aim all the way up at the top part of the wave at your target. If we look at another clip here, I want to demonstrate Ethan Ewing now going front side doing a bottom turn. And so let's take a look at what he does here. He goes into this bottom turn. He swings this back arm back. And the reason he does that is so he can get this chest squared up to the wave so that his board is then coming all the way up the wave. And that's the reason why he's swinging that arm back, is to really get that chest squared up to the wave so his board then follows where his chest is pointed. He's pushing on those toes, putting this rail in the water, and really sending that board up towards his target so he can turn at the very top. And you see, finally, once he gets to about this point, like pretty much at the very top of the wave, then he starts to rotate his upper body to come back down the wave, starts putting pressure on his tail and his heels to send this board back down the wave. But this turn, really such a great turn because it was such a great bottom turn. A great bottom turn always precedes a great top turn. And the reason why this was so great is because he really squared up to the wave here with his chest, which causes him to really slingshot himself up to the top part of the wave with speed. And so it's really that back right arm, throwing it back to really get that chest squared up so that our head, our chest, and our lower body is all moving in the same direction. And so let's take a look at your front side clip here. Take a look at your bottom turn. Chest is pretty squared up to the wave. I like it. And you're looking up. I'm going to move myself here. And you're looking up at your target. You're looking up at your target. Ooh. There we go. You're looking up at your target. Your chest is pretty squared up to the wave. I like this. But let's see where you start to rotate around to get back down the wave. Pretty good. You're higher up on the wave than on the backside. But I think with this sort of section, really aiming to hit that board on the lip up here is the best way that we could have attacked this section. And so just holding that position that you're in here, and maybe even swinging this arm back like Ethan Ewing did, to really get that chest pointed up to the wave, is going to allow you to do this bottom turn a little bit deeper. It's going to take a little longer, and it's going to allow time for this lip to start to throw so that you can hit it as soon as the lip starts to throw. So I just think going a little bit deeper on the bottom turn so that you can be a little bit more patient and really hit that lip when it starts to throw. And just bringing that right arm back is going to cause you to get deeper. It's going to cause you to dig a little harder. It's going to bring your board a little bit further down before it comes up, and your timing should be pretty good there if you can just hold that position like Ethan Ewing does here. He holds that chest squared up to the wave, and he holds that arm back. You can watch it one more time. Hold, bang, and then he starts to rotate. So that's what I got for you, Kai. Just breaking down how we actually change direction on our surfboards. It comes first from our head, then our upper body rotating, followed by the inputs that we're putting on the board in our lower body. And if you can just hold these bottom turns a little longer, you're going to start throwing much more radical turns, much more precise turns where we're turning at the very top of the wave, and your surfing's going to improve. So hopefully you found this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and cheers, brother. Keep ripping.